Hello everybody, I am Tom, and you are watching me play Warframe. Today's video we're going to go over my Octavia build. Here's Octavia, she's nice and dancy and really likes dancing around. This is the skin they released for her fairly recently. It was like probably a couple of months ago they released this skin. It's absolutely fantastic, I love it. But anyway, let's go into the actual build. First things first, we'll go over abilities. Her passive, she'll replenish 30 energy over 30 seconds for Octavia and allies within 15 meters when abilities are activated. This is a very, very good passive. Just energy replenishment for you and allies. Amazing passive. They should all have passives similar to this. At least similar in, like, usefulness to this. Her first ability is Mallet. She rhythmically beats damage into nearby enemies and draws their fire. Damage inflicted on the mallet increases its lethality. So essentially it creates a big area where anything inside that area will attack the mallet, and, well actually no, anything inside the area will get damaged by the attack that the mallet reflects, and everything that can see the mallet will try and attack it. So essentially it's an area where it does a bunch of damage to enemies inside it, and the more they attack it, the more damage it does. Pretty self-explanatory. It's a very, very, very good ability. Second is Resonator, where she throws out a roller. It attracts enemies, they'll run after it. It also has a synergy with the mallet, where it will pick up the mallet and run around with a mallet, so there's a moving mallet around the stage. Honestly, I don't use Resonator that much. I tend to use her other three abilities in conjunction and don't really use the roller that often, although occasionally I throw it out just because it's cool. Third ability is Metronome. This is an insanely good ability. So there are 4 different buffs that you can get from Metronome, and essentially Octavia has a song that you can write with her, which is played when you use this ability. And depending on the action that you take while you're using, like, you've got 4 actions you can do in time with the music, and if you do that you get the specific buff. So timed jumps offer the Vivace speed buff. Crouching on the beat grants cloaking with the Nocturne buff. It's insanely good how good the cloak is. You can just have an entire team of cloaked allies. It's amazing. Firing rhythmically bestows a multi-shot buff, and timed melee swings give the Forte damage buff. So all of the buffs are really, really good. It's just the crouching tends to be the one that most people do because it's the one that's most easily done in time with the beat. The others it's harder to do in time with a beat. But invisibility is very, very good, and having that on your entire team is very, very good. And then her final ability is Amp. She takes the sound of the area and uses it to amplify damage. It will also have the synergy of doubling the range of Mallet, which is just fantastic. But that's about it. Draws power from the decibel level of sound in the area and uses it to amplify a damage buff for Octavia and her allies. It also doubles the damage and range of nearby mallets. So it doubles not only the range, it doubles the damage of the mallets as well, which is kind of insane. But that's pretty much it. We'll go over the actual build now. This is a 3-form build. Yes, 3-form build. We have Corrosive Projection to reduce enemy armor. It's worth noting I only have 80% efficiency here, so it's potentially worth chucking in a energy siphon there instead. Just because getting extra energy could be useful. I have maxed Zeneric, so I don't really have to worry about energy at all. But just in case you may need it, it may be worth having a lower blind rage to get your efficiency a bit higher and having energy siphon rather than corrosive projection. But I prefer corrosive projection because it's the best aura bod they have in the entire game. We have Cunning Drift, which is here for the ability range. It also gives us a bit of speed, but ability range is why it's here. Arcanes, stock standard, Aegis, and Nullifier. We have Prime Continuity for ability duration, Blind Rage for a bunch of strength at the cost of a bunch of efficiency. As I said, you could easily make the argument for a lower ranked Blind Rage here. I just like having a lot of strength on her, and the efficiency I'm less worried about because I have Zeneric. Streamline for 30% ability efficiency. This is just to counteract some of the loss that you get from Blind Rage. Intensify for ability strength. Stretch for ability range. Constitution for faster knockdown recovery, but mainly for the ability duration. Then we have Prime Flow for a bunch of energy and then quick thinking and just to keep us alive. So we have the Prime Flow Quick Thinking combo. It's a pretty good combo. Most of the time you're going to be invisible, so it's less relevant. But it's good to have this just in case. You get hit by a few stray bullets, you don't want to die immediately. It's also worth noting here that this you do a couple more formal, you could get this Intensify up to an Umbral Intensify for like 230% strength, or 235% strength at max rather than 220. Which would be strictly speaking better, but I don't think it really requires the former. I might do it if they release Octavia Prime. I may go for a 4 formal build and get that up better, but I'm not too worried about it now. She's very, very good at this, and I don't really need any more than this. Next, I will point out the song you can use. So if you go into the Appearance chord, and then this bottom right, you see Mantichord. You can select this. This is the song I have. Essentially, I just have it so that pretty much always there's going to be a melody note playing for metronome. So you can just spam the button. It's pretty much why it's like this. There's a few places around here that gets a bit slower, and that's for trying to get shooting buff, because it's harder to spam in time with the notes for shooting and melee attacking and stuff. But for the crouching buff, you want it as fast as possible, so I've got it as fast as possible. But now we can show the actual build. Oh, 145? Sure, let's simulate. We'll get some energy. Cast my 3. There we go. I can't hear the music because I have it turned down fairly low, which makes it harder. Not hard, but harder. So I just use my 1, my 2, and my 3 there. 1, 2, 3, and 4, sorry. So, we definitely have some synergies here, and she's very, very good at using all her abilities at once. You want to stay invisible as much as possible. Okay. And it's also worth noting that you can recast your invisibility on yourself. Yeah, these guys are going to kill themselves. I don't really have to do much. You can see there I'm recasting Nocturne on myself over and over and over again. Ow, I got hit by a rocket. I'm invisible, but I got hit by a rocket. So these guys are the heavy units. Honestly, the heavy units aren't likely to kill themselves super easily. Like, I'm just going to let them kill each other, because I can. It's pretty easy at this point. You can see here I'm actually resetting my invisibility by crouching over and over again, which is why the screen's going up and on and off. I'm just going to shoot these guys. There we go. Alright, so the heavy gunners survived. Good on the heavy gunners, I suppose. Everything else killed themselves. I fired like, what, 3 shots that entire thing? The rest just killed themselves, and I was safely invisible. Octavia is very, very good, as you can just see from that. There were level 145 enemies. Not an issue. I could just stand there, essentially, crouching to keep myself invisible, and then they just all died. But that's Octavia in a nutshell. She's also I really like Octavia's design, specifically because you pretty much want to use all of her abilities. The only one that you don't want to always use is O2. Because sometimes you want the mallet to stay in one spot, and if you have a mallet down, you'll see this roller boy, he'll run and pick it up immediately. Yeah, like that. But aside from that, you pretty much want her 1, her 3, and her 4 always active, which I really, really like. Like, it's a really good... It means that it's a really well-designed Warframe, because a lot of the Warframes, there's like one or two abilities that you use all the time, the others you'll use occasionally, but for the most part, you never have to use. I like Warframes where all of the abilities come into play and they're all really useful, which is why I like Octavia as much as I do. I haven't actually played her for a while, but she is good. Very good. I should change to this. Oh yeah, I have the I got the Apera buff there for a second. Yeah, but that's it. If you like the video, please leave a like. If you're not subscribed already, please consider subscribing. And as always, thanks for watching. I shall see you next time. I'll wait a bit just for the outro image of me being visible rather than... There we go. See this nice skin. Anyway, guys. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.